I would like to know where some people buy their audacity. Came across this gem on Reddit. Am I that a-hole for wanting to take legal action against the woman whose baby we are supposed to adopt? Are you ready? Let's read. Me and my husband have been trying to have a child for 3 years. For 2 years, we tried the natural way, but were told it was unlikely. So we decided to try adoption. 4 months ago, we met a woman. We will call her Amy. She was 2 months pregnant at the time. She was perfect. After a few meetings, she got to know us. She told us she would love to have us raise her baby. For months, we got updates about the pregnancy, making plans, planning a nursery, and picking out names. Even went to appointments with her. Well, last month, Amy called and told in so many words that she changed her mind and we could no longer have the baby. She was still putting up for adoption, just not with us. She didn't give me much info about said couple, but I was able to find out more from digging on her social media. She removed me as a friend but didn't block me, so I could still see her posts. Apparently, her co-worker's brother and his husband have also been looking for a baby to adopt, and somehow her co-worker convinced her to choose them instead. I asked her why she chose them over us. She said it was because she heard they had been having trouble finding someone. She felt it had been harder for them to find someone other than them. Apparently, adoption as a gay couple isn't easy. She is now posting pictures of them, and I know I shouldn't be looking at them, but this is supposed to be our baby. Am I that a-hole for wanting to take legal action against this woman? First of all, you're not entitled to someone else's baby because you struggle to get pregnant. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but sorry. And if you are actually looking into adoption, then you know that these situations happen. There's about 40 couples for every baby put up for adoption. It is her baby and she makes decisions for her baby. It is not your baby. Just because someone is considering you for adoption does not entitle you to their child. A person's parental rights cannot even be terminated until after the baby is born. And on top of that, you're admitting to spying on her social media. That's a big old bowl of Yikes Krispies. And also the way you say apparently adoption as a gay couple isn't easy seems like you might be a little homophobic. Or think that you're more deserving of a child because you're straight. And you are justifying to yourself to pursue legal action against this person for making a decision for their baby that you are not legally entitled to whatsoever. I'm happy that people in the comments are like, you're absolutely that a-hole. And to those of you watching who might be like, I can't believe people would actually do this. Oh, this happens pretty often. Adoptive parents and adoption agencies will pressure legal action against people who are considering adoption for their child, which is incredibly coercive. But this happens pretty often. So now you know.
Let me tell you about this story of me while I was in the psych ward. Don't ask why I was in the psych ward, just know that I was there. Okay, so while I was there, we had to do these group meetings as soon as we woke up and before we went to bed. We had to wake up at like 9 a.m. in the morning. I hated it there. I was depressed. I'd always give the workers shit about going to those meetings. I was like, fuck y'all, I'm not going to those goddamn meetings. One night my stomach was hurting really bad, so they let me skip the meeting and sleep early. And I had gotten up in the middle of the night to go ask for some stomach medicine. When I walk out my room, I see this little boy standing at the end of the hall like... So I'm like, hello? And this motherfucker goes... and starts hissing at me like... Mind you, when he went, he had scissors in his hand. I knew I could outrun that motherfucker, so I started hissing at him back. I said, yeah, motherfucker, what's up, little mail packet? Yeah, what's really going on? Then he starts going, oh. So I match his energy once again, and I start going, ah. Who the fuck is you doing that to? Then he picks up his scissors like this and charges dead at me. I zoomed out that hallway so fast. Bitch, I disappeared. I left for part 2 because it only gets worse. Part 2 of the story of me in the psych ward. So like I said, this little white boy who's like 4'8" starts chasing me down the hallway with his little chicken legs. Mind you, he had scissors in his hands. So he was actually trying to kill me. You'll know why I think that in the end. So mind you, while he was chasing me, I did not look back. Not once. I didn't know if this motherfucker was gonna start climbing the walls. I don't know if he was gonna start crawling on the ceiling. My main goal was just to get away. So I eventually make it to the front desk. I look behind me to see if he was still there. Well, he wasn't, so I'm guessing that he stopped chasing me at the end of the hall. The front desk lady is looking at me like, mind you, we weren't allowed to carry scissors or even pencils or anything like that because it was dangerous. And so I didn't want to get that little boy in trouble, so I just told her like, no, I'm good. I just need medicine. Well, eventually they did end up finding him with the scissors anyways and took it away from him. But baby, he found a way to get that shit back. The next morning, everybody came out for breakfast and these workers were dragging the same little boy out of his room. And he was like kicking and screaming and all of that. Well, turns out he stole another pair of scissors in the middle of the night, stabbed another kid in his sleep. Part 3 of the story of me in the psych ward. So like I said, this same little boy who was chasing me last night with a pair of scissors had sneaked into another kid's room in the middle of the night and stabbed him in his sleep. This little boy's goal was to harm And it could have easily been me. And I was over there fucking around with that kid talking about, hissing at him because he was hissing at me. I could have died. What if I couldn't have outran him? I would have gotten stabbed. I thought that it was just some weird little boy. I did not think that he was trying to really hurt somebody. Well, rumors started going around the psych ward that the reason that he stabbed that other kid was because he had asked that other boy, I think it was a boy that he stabbed, for his Roblox username so they could play together when they get out. And that kid said no because of the HIPAA violation or whatever. So while that kid was sleeping in the middle of the night, he had gone into his room and stabbed him because he didn't give him his Roblox username. Story time at the time I dated a married man and his wife walked in on us. Mind you, I am 17, child. I promise it will all make sense at the end, just keep watching. This literally happened in June. I turned 17 in May. I had just turned 17. Just makes everything worse. Let's just get into it. So at this time, my TikTok page was like plummeting. It was after I exposed my racist school and I started getting all those death threats. I basically had to stay off TikTok for a while and social media in general. So I wasn't really getting a lot of notice from anyone. But one day I noticed that this guy was liking all of my videos. Let me tell you this, man. Fine. This man was extra fine. So I was like, let me go ahead and shoot my shot. Honestly, if anyone were to blow up my notice like that, I'd probably follow them anyway. So I followed him. Worst mistake of my life. The thing though is he only had a profile picture, but he did have a video. In the video, he was using a filter, so his face was covered up, but his hair and his bone structure matched his profile picture. So I was like, okay, this is him. I'm not gonna get catfish. Everything is good. Right? Anyway, so he DMs me on TikTok. He gives me his number. I text him and we start talking. He tells me that he's 19. Wait until you find out his actual age. Part 2? Part 2 of the time I dated a married man and his wife walked in on us. So yeah, he tells me that he's 19. I'm 17, so I was thinking it's only 2 years and we're both at a very mature age. I was like, okay, that's fine. So we start talking more and we click like this. I really thought that I found the one for me. We had the same personality, same humor. We were interested in the same things. I had been single for 17 years, so I was excited. We keep talking and we plan to hang out one day. He said he wanted to take me on a little date or whatever. I was like, free food. Say fucking Liz. So he comes to pick me up and we go out to a restaurant. Everything's good. I go home. Everything's fine. After that, we plan to hang out again and we go on another date. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Get home safely and I think everything's going good. But things start to get a little weird because the more as time went on, the more we would text and the more we would call. He started to randomly hang up when we were on FaceTime, or he would randomly put me on mute, or he would talk really quiet. I would ask him like why he was doing that and he would say, oh, my phone is glitching. Me being a dumb bitch, I believed it. I was like, you know what? All men aren't trash. Let me give him a chance. We continue to hang out. We hang out like 4 or 5 times until the night his wife came home. Part 3 of the time I dated a married man and his wife walked in on us. Okay, so since everything's going good, we continue to go on dates. We go on 3 or 4 dates and the last time we hung out was at his house. I was kind of confused on how he had a house at 19, but he said that he had a family business that he invested in. That's how he made his money, so he basically had his life set up for him. So I'm thinking, child, oh, he got money. He's cute. He has a nice personality. He's sweet. Like, what could go wrong? Here's what went wrong. So like I said, the last time we hung out was at his house. We're at his house, everything's good. We're watching a movie and a knock on the door. It's like, okay, it's probably just like, I don't know, a delivery. He's gonna tell me, go in that room. Like, trying to rush me, like, go in that room, go in that room. Obviously, something fishy is going on here if he's trying to rush me to hide. So I'm like, what's going on? His wife, who is the one who was knocking on the door, heard my voice and starts yelling. So now I'm like, what did I just get myself into? I am not trying to fight nobody today. I'm definitely not gonna fight over no boy. So I'm just looking at him like, you got some explaining to do. So he goes and opens the door for his wife. And this is what happened.
Am I the asshole for going off with my girlfriend after she went skinny dipping with a bunch of guys from her job and then called me controlling for saying that it's wrong? I'm a 19-year-old male and my girlfriend's a 19-year-old female. I've been with my girlfriend for over a year and it's been great, but she's changed a lot over the summer. We went to eat at this local college wings place and the server was so clearly hitting on her. He was actually making me feel like crap, calling me things like junior and little man, and she didn't even see it. My girlfriend actually said, you guys seem so fun here. I wish I could get a job. The guy said that they had an open hostess position and that she should talk to the manager. After some talking, the manager hired her on the spot and the shift was that night. Since that day, all she wants to do is work. I guess all the hot guys at her job makes clocking in a little bit easier, huh? I see her twice a week now and she's always on her phone even when we are together. She promised me that we would hang out after she got out of work last night. She called me about an hour after we were supposed to meet and said that she was sorry she made other plans. I told her we had to talk about this and she promised we would talk and that was it. I'm be honest, bro, that ain't your girl no more. I was so upset I started checking all her social media to see if I could get any clue as to what the hell was going on. Maybe 30 minutes into it, she was tagged in another guy's photo of her sitting at a pool deck with a lot of alcohol bottles with a bunch of guys behind her and smiling. I examined the photo for a long time and it was clear that she didn't have a swimsuit on. It was on the ground at her feet and she was wearing just a towel. I know I shouldn't have, but I blew up her phone and she finally answered and was clearly sort of drunk. I asked her about the Instagram picture. She said, oh yeah, her friends wanted a shot of the party. I asked her about the swimsuit and she said, yeah, asked her about the swimsuit and she said, yeah, I might have been dared to swim naked, like it was nothing. I was so mad and asked her who was at the party. She said just some guys from work. I said, there are no other girls there? She said, no, it's a work party and it's only people who are at work that night. I told her that it was inappropriate for them to suggest that she get naked. She just started screaming that I was being controlling and that she was sick of my crap. And she was so happy she met some mature guys because they are so much more fun to me. She then ended the call. I tried to call her back a million times, but she must have turned her phone off. Am I the a-hole in this situation? You are not the a-hole in this situation. She is. You are now single. Your girl likes hanging out with these group of guys and she likes hanging out with you. And it's always funny how it's workplace sexual harassment until they're into it. Because if this had been any other time in woke history, and if she didn't like the fact that they asked her to get undressed and dive into their pool. But anyway, you are not in the wrong in the situation she is. Not only has she shown that she has no respect for you or your relationship, she has shown that she does not care about hanging out with you as much as she cares about hanging out with these guys. That's not your girl no more. And you should break up with her before she gets a chance to break up with you. So yeah, if I was you, I'd find a new relationship to get into. Hit that follow button and subscribe to the Church of Joe Stone podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Joe Stone.